Have you ever done something kind, only to be punished for it? Wait till you hear what happened to Emily, because by the end you'll believe that no good deed ever goes unnoticed. So stay with me till the end, and if you believe kindness can change lives, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Kindness Tales Live for more real stories that touch the heart. Emily Turner wasn't just another hairstylist in the buzzing downtown salon of Maplewood. She was the soul of the place. Always smiling, always gentle. She had a gift for making people feel seen. It was a rainy Tuesday morning, the kind where clouds hung low and time felt slow. The salon was unusually quiet, and Emily was cleaning her station when the bell above the door jingled softly. An old man stepped inside. His clothes were worn, his shoes soaked, and his hands trembled slightly as he removed his faded cap. "Can I help you, sir?" Emily asked with her usual warmth. The man hesitated, eyes scanning the busy price board on the wall. "Ma'am," he said softly, "I'm a veteran. Just needed a trim. But I can't afford it right now. I was just hoping to look decent for a job interview." His voice cracked slightly at the end. Emily felt a sting in her chest. She saw the way his coat barely clung to his shoulders, the way years of struggle had carved lines into his face. Without a second thought, she said, "Sir, you sit right there. Don't you worry about the cost. This one's on me." The man's eyes widened. "Are you sure?" "Positive," she smiled. "You've done enough for us already. Let me do something for you." As the scissors glided through his gray hair, they began to talk. His name was Walter Brooks, a retired Navy mechanic who'd been homeless for almost a year after losing his pension due to a clerical error. But now finally he had a job interview at a nearby auto shop. Emily listened with quiet respect, occasionally offering a word of encouragement. For 30 minutes she cut, trimmed, and shaped his hair like it was the most important job she'd ever done. When she handed him the mirror, Walter's lips trembled. "Ma'am, I haven't looked this decent in years," he whispered. Emily chuckled. "You look sharp, Mr. Brooks. Go knock him dead at that interview." That's when the salon door slammed open. Standing there was her boss, Linda, with sharp heels and sharper eyes. "Emily, what on earth are you doing?" she snapped. Emily turned, startled. "Just giving him a haircut, Linda. He's a veteran." You couldn't what? Follow the rules?" Linda barked. "We don't run a charity here. Every chair, every minute costs money. If you want to play hero, do it on your own time." Walter stood up quickly. "Ma'am, please don't blame her. I didn't ask for a free cut. But Linda wasn't listening. "Out, both of you!" she shouted. The entire salon went silent. Emily's heart sank as customers turned their eyes away. She gently handed Walter his cap. "It's okay, sir," she whispered. "Go on. You got that interview to get to." Walter hesitated, saluted her quietly, and left. Linda crossed her arms. "Emily, you're fired. Pack your things." For a moment, Emily thought she'd misheard. Fired for helping someone? Her throat tightened. She wanted to scream, to explain, but all that came out was a quiet, "Yes, ma'am." As she gathered her scissors and apron, tears filled her eyes. A few co-workers whispered. Some looked sympathetic, others simply avoided her gaze. She walked out of the salon, the rain still falling, her reflection blurring in the glass window she used to smile through every day. She sat on the curb outside, jobless, heartbroken, but strangely peaceful, because deep down she knew she'd done the right thing. What she didn't know was that her act of kindness had just set something incredible into motion. 30 minutes after Emily was fired, something extraordinary happened, and it all started with one small act of kindness that the entire town would soon be talking about. Stay with me till the end. This part will give you chills. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Kindness Tales Live if you believe good hearts always find their reward. The rain had stopped, but the street still shimmered with puddles when Emily left the salon. Her hands were trembling around the little box of tools she carried, her scissors, combs, and the apron that once made her feel proud. Now it just felt like a reminder of what she'd lost. She sat on a nearby bench watching the cars pass, feeling the weight of the day settle in her chest. Inside the salon, Linda was already back to her usual rhythm, snapping orders, answering phone calls, pretending nothing had happened. To her, Emily's firing was just another managerial decision. But out on the street, A different story was beginning to unfold. Walter Brooks, the veteran Emily had helped, walked 2 blocks away to a small diner for a cup of coffee before his interview. His hands were still shaking, and not from cold but from the emotion of what had just happened. He couldn't believe that a stranger had treated him with such dignity. The warmth of that gesture stuck with him more than the haircut itself. As he sat by the window, a young journalist named Megan Parker, who worked for the Maplewood Gazette, noticed him. She had been there earlier, interviewing the diner owner about a community cleanup event. Something about Walter's demeanor caught her eye. His haircut was fresh, but his clothes and boots told another story. "Excuse me, sir," she said gently. "You look like you've had quite a day. Everything okay?" Walter smiled faintly. "Better than it was this morning," he said. "A young lady gave me a haircut for free. Said it was the least she could do for someone who served." Megan tilted her head. "That's kind of her." "She got fired for it," Walter added quietly. Megan froze mid-sip of her coffee. "Wait, what?" Walter nodded, his eyes misty. "Didn't charge me a cent. Her boss threw her out for being decent." Within minutes, Megan's fingers were flying over her phone, typing notes. "What's her name?" "Emily Turner. Works, well worked, I'm at Golden Comb Salon." Megan smiled sadly. "Noted." She posted a short update to her community page. Breaking. A local hairstylist, Emily Turner, was reportedly fired today from Golden Comb Salon after giving a free haircut to a struggling veteran. Sometimes kindness costs people their jobs here, but maybe it shouldn't. The post went live at 1:42 p.m. By 2:00 p.m., it had over 600 shares. By 2:15, local residents began calling the salon, demanding answers. By 2:30, the story reached the office of Mayor William Hart, who was known for championing community service and veteran welfare. When his assistant showed him the post, the mayor's expression hardened. "She was fired for helping a veteran?" he repeated. "Not in my town." Within minutes, his motorcade was on the move toward Maplewood Center. Back at the salon, Linda was startled when she saw a growing crowd gathering outside. People were taking photos, recording videos, and whispering angrily. "What on earth is going on?" she muttered, peeking through the blinds. Then the sound of sirens. Not police, but the city escort. A black SUV rolled to a stop in front of the salon. Out stepped Mayor Hart, dressed in a navy suit, his expression unreadable. "Mayor Hart?" Linda stammered as he entered. "Oh, what brings you here, sir?" "I came to meet the woman you just fired," he said evenly. Linda blinked, her throat tightening. She's gone, sir." Then I'll find her," the mayor interrupted, his voice firm. "And you might want to prepare for a very public explanation." The salon went dead silent. Outside, the growing crowd began to applaud, realizing what was happening. Cameras flashed. Reporters shouted questions. The entire block buzzed with energy, all because one woman had refused to charge a veteran for a haircut. Meanwhile, down the street, Emily sat on that same bench, unaware that her story had exploded across town. Her phone buzzed endlessly in her bag, but she didn't have the courage to check it yet. She just stared at her reflection in a puddle, whispering to herself, "I just wanted to do something good." Then she heard a voice behind her. "Miss Turner?" She turned slowly, and there he was, Mayor William Hart himself, standing in front of her with a kind but serious expression. "Ma'am," he said, "I think you and I need to talk." When the mayor approached Emily on that rainy street, she thought it was all a mistake. But what he said next would change her life, and the town, forever. Stay with me till the end, because this chapter proves that kindness always comes full circle. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Kindness Tales Live if you believe compassion can create miracles. Emily looked up, startled, as the mayor's shadow stretched across the wet pavement. He was taller than she expected, with silver hair and a calm but commanding presence. The drizzle had left small beads of rain on his suit jacket, yet he didn't seem to notice. "Miss Turner?" he repeated gently. "I'm Mayor William Hart." Emily stood quickly, clutching her box of tools nervously. "Mr. Mayor?" Yes, that's me." "Is something wrong?" The mayor smiled faintly. "Actually, something's right. I've been hearing about you all afternoon." "About me?" Emily asked, confused. He nodded. You gave a free haircut to a veteran named Walter Brooks, correct? Her cheeks flushed. Yes, sir. He couldn't afford it. I just wanted to help. That's what I thought, the mayor said, his eyes kind. But it seems your boss didn't appreciate your kindness. Emily sighed, her voice barely above a whisper. No, sir. She fired me, said this isn't a charity. For a moment, the mayor just looked at her, really looked. There was something fatherly in his gaze, the kind that saw the heart before the resume. Miss Turner, he said softly, the world needs more people like you. Emily blinked, unsure what to say. Thank you, sir, but kindness doesn't pay the bills. The mayor smiled. Maybe it will now. He gestured toward the corner of the street where a small crowd had begun to gather, many filming on their phones. The whole town knows your story. Your name is trending on social media. People are calling you the kind-hearted stylist. Emily's jaw dropped. Wait, what? Trending? Indeed, the mayor chuckled. You've reminded this city what decency looks like, and I'd like to make sure that doesn't go unnoticed. He motioned toward his aide, who handed him an envelope. Inside is a check from the city's community fund, not charity, but a grant. We want you to open a small salon dedicated to serving veterans and those in need. Free cuts, discounted services, dignity restored. Emily froze. A salon? Of my own? The mayor nodded. Yes, we'll call it Hearts and Hair. The city will help you with the permits, space, and promotion. You showed what true service looks like, and I believe that deserves to grow. Tears welled in Emily's eyes. For a long moment, she couldn't speak. Mr. Mayor, I don't even know what to say. He smiled warmly. Just promise me one thing. Never stop doing what's right, even when no one's watching. By now, the crowd had moved closer. People clapped, some cheered. Even Walter Brooks, who had returned after hearing the commotion, stepped forward through the rain with a proud salute. Ma'am, he said softly, you gave me hope this morning. Looks like you gave the whole town some too. The mayor extended his hand to Emily. Cameras flashed as she shook it, her tears mixing with the raindrops still falling. Back inside the old salon, Linda watched everything unfold from behind the blinds, her face pale. A reporter approached her, asking for comment, but she slammed the door shut instead. The crowd outside didn't care. Their eyes were on Emily, the woman who turned a simple act of kindness into a movement. Later that evening, as the sun broke through the clouds, Emily stood beside the mayor at a press conference on the steps of City Hall. Microphones pointed her way. Miss Turner, one reporter called out, how does it feel to lose your job but gain a new beginning? Emily took a deep breath. It feels humbling. I didn't plan any of this. I just saw someone who needed help. If that's what kindness can do, then maybe losing my job was the best thing that ever happened to me. The crowd erupted into applause. Walter, standing nearby, wiped his eyes with a smile. The mayor nodded approvingly. And in that golden evening light, Emily felt something she hadn't felt in a long time. Purpose. They said one free haircut couldn't change the world, but wait until you see what happened when Emily opened her new salon. The crowd that showed up left her speechless, and one surprise guest brought her to tears. Stay till the end, and if you believe kindness multiplies, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Kindness Tales Live. 3 weeks later, Maplewood buzzed with excitement. On the corner of Oak Street, a freshly painted sign gleamed under the morning sun. Hearts and Hair, where kindness is always in style. It wasn't just a salon. It was a message. With the mayor's help, local businesses had donated furniture, mirrors, and supplies. Veterans from the nearby shelter painted the walls. Volunteers set up chairs, and children from the community taped colorful paper hearts to the windows. Each one had a handwritten note. Thank you for caring. Emily stood in front of the shop, a bouquet of daisies in her trembling hands. Her heart pounded with nervous joy. It felt surreal. This space, once an impossible dream, now stood real and alive before her. Walter Brooks, freshly shaven and smiling, stood proudly by her side. You ready, Miss Emily? He asked. She took a deep breath and nodded. Ready as I'll ever be. The mayor stepped forward with his usual calm authority. Cameras flashed and reporters gathered around as he addressed the crowd. 3 weeks ago, he began, a woman in this town lost her job for showing compassion. Today we stand here to celebrate how that single act has inspired hundreds. Hearts and Hair is more than a salon. It's a promise that kindness will always find a way. The crowd erupted into applause. Emily smiled through tears as the mayor handed her the ceremonial scissors. "Let's make it official," he said. Snip. The red ribbon fluttered to the ground and the doors opened to cheers. Inside, the air smelled of fresh paint, coffee, and lavender oil. A small sign near the counter read, "Veterans, free haircuts. Every day. Seniors and students, pay what you can. Everyone else, smile required." The first customer was a teenage boy with messy curls and nervous eyes. "Are you sure it's okay if I pay later?" he asked. Emily grinned. "Of course, sweetheart. Everyone deserves to feel good about themselves." As she snipped away, the line outside grew longer. Families, veterans, students, and even other stylists from nearby towns came to volunteer. Someone brought cupcakes. Someone else brought coffee. The place was buzzing with laughter, warmth, and gratitude. By noon, the shop was packed. Local TV crews filmed the joyous chaos, capturing the laughter, the free hugs, and the tears. Emily worked tirelessly, her hands moving with purpose, her heart overflowing. And then in the middle of the crowd, she froze. Standing quietly near the entrance was a familiar face, Linda, her former boss from Golden Comb Salon. She looked uncomfortable, holding a small box in her hands. The crowd parted slightly as she stepped forward. "Emily," she said softly, I came to apologize." The noise in the salon faded. Even the scissors paused. "I was wrong," Linda continued, her voice trembling. "You showed me what real professionalism looks like. Not greed, but grace. I've been thinking about it every night. I'm sorry for firing you." Emily blinked, speechless. For a moment, she didn't know whether to be angry or relieved. But then she saw the guilt in Linda's eyes and simply smiled. "Thank you," Emily said gently. "It means a lot." Linda handed her the small box. "It's your old scissors. I thought you'd want them back." Emily opened it and gasped, her favorite gold-handled scissors polished and shining. She laughed softly, her eyes wet. "Thank you, Linda, I do." The crowd began to clap again, this time even louder than before. Linda wiped her eyes, and for the first time in years, she smiled sincerely. The mayor, standing at the back, leaned toward a reporter and said, "That's what leadership looks like, not just forgiving, but inspiring others to change." As the day went on, the salon stayed full. Walter helped sweep hair between clients, and Emily worked until her hands ached. But when she finally locked up that evening, she looked around at the colorful notes on the wall and whispered, "We did it." The sign outside flickered in the soft glow of sunset, Hearts and Hair, a place born from compassion, built by a community, and destined to change countless lives. Just when Emily thought her story had ended happily ever after, someone unexpected walked through the doors of Hearts and Hair. What he said next left the entire salon silent, and Emily in tears. Stay till the end, and if this story has touched your heart, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Kindness Tales Live, because this ending proves that kindness always finds its way home. It was 2 weeks after the grand opening of Hearts and Hair. The salon had already become a local sensation. Lines formed outside every morning. People didn't just come for haircuts. They came to feel something good again. There was laughter, music, the soft hum of clippers, and a sense of belonging that money could never buy. Emily had never been busier, yet she'd never felt more alive. Each morning she'd brew a big pot of coffee, hang a new thank you note on the wall, and start her day with a smile. Walter, the veteran who started it all, had become her assistant, greeting customers with his signature salute and warm grin. But one afternoon, as sunlight streamed through the glass door, a quiet hush swept through the salon. The bell chimed softly and an older man entered, not a customer anyone recognized. He wore a neatly pressed uniform jacket, his metals glinting under the light. Emily turned, scissors in hand, and froze. Her breath caught. "Dad?" she whispered. It was her father, Colonel Richard Turner, retired Air Force, the man she hadn't seen in nearly 6 years. He smiled, his eyes moist. "It's been a while, sweetheart." For a moment, the room seemed to disappear. Emily ran to him, tears spilling freely, and wrapped her arms around him. I didn't think I'd ever see you again, she sobbed. He held her tight. Neither did I. I saw your story on the news. I couldn't be prouder. Emily pulled back, stunned. You saw? I saw everything, he said softly. You lost your job for helping a veteran and turned it into something beautiful. You've done more for people than most could in a lifetime. The entire salon watched quietly, moved by the reunion. Walter stood in the back, wiping his eyes. Emily smiled through her tears. You taught me to help people, Dad. I just never thought it would lead here. Her father chuckled. Sometimes life rewards the brave in ways we don't expect. He looked around the shop, admiring the hand-painted walls and photos of happy customers. This place, it's you. It's your heart on display. As they talked, the mayor entered quietly behind them, smiling at the touching scene. Cameras had followed him again. But this time, the story wasn't about politics or publicity. It was about healing. Colonel Turner, the mayor greeted respectfully, shaking his hand. Your daughter has changed Maplewood forever. The colonel nodded, eyes glistening. She's changed me too. The mayor turned to Emily. We're declaring next Friday Kindness Day in Maplewood, in your honor. Every business in town will offer one act of kindness to someone in need. Emily gasped. That's incredible, Mr. Mayor. He smiled. It's because of you. You reminded us that goodness is contagious. The salon erupted into applause. Customers hugged each other. Veterans saluted. And for a few shining moments, the whole town seemed united by one simple truth. Kindness costs nothing but means everything. Later that evening, after the excitement had calmed, Emily stood outside the shop with her father and Walter. The golden sunset painted the sky in pink and orange, reflecting off the salon's window where the words, hearts and hair, shimmered softly. Walter smiled. You know, Miss Emily, when I sat in your chair that day, I thought it was just a haircut. Turns out it was the start of something bigger than any of us. Emily chuckled. You started it too, Walter. We both did. Her father placed a hand on her shoulder. You made me proud, kiddo. And your mother would have been too. Emily looked up at the sky, her voice soft. I think she knows. The three of them stood there in silence for a moment, watching the sunset fade into evening. Inside, the salon glowed warmly. Laughter, hope, and love alive in every corner.